Okay, how to build a strong core. It always makes me laugh, especially at the start of the season when it's spring. There's guys in Font there's guys in Flagstaff maybe, there's guys all over the world, and it's the first kind of days of spring and it's starting to get a little bit hot, especially compared to where they've been training or where they've been spending the winter. And guys will have the tops off and they'll be doing intervals or some kind of session on the track, and there'll be a picture that'll be on social media, and the comments will be, somebody's been doing their work. One of them will have definition in the abdominals, and the comment will be, oh, somebody's been doing their work over the winter. And it always makes me laugh, but it always surprises me and shocks me a little bit, because how could you be a professional athlete and not be doing what is so fundamentally important, which is having a strong core? And naturally, as a distance athlete with a low body percentage fat, those abdominals are going to show if you just do a tiny amount of work on your abdominals. If you do a tiny amount of core work, your abdominals are going to show, because your body fat percentage is so low because of the amount of volume you do in your training. Even if you've not been doing a great amount of volume compared to the regular person, as a distance athlete, you should always be reasonably lean. You should always be lean. It's full stop. It's just as simple as that. Even if you do put on some weight over the winter, and it's usually in the weight room when you've got a little bit more time to kind of put the strength in and then kind of apply that into your faster sessions, at the start of the season, and then prepare for the main season. If you're a track athlete, but if you're an athlete, if you're a runner at any distance, all the way up to ultra marathon running. So it always shocks me, but very easily, like if you're kind of putting in the structure if you're kind of following a set program where you're running and you've got that consistency going, you've got that kind of habit built that you're running very often, and you're running kind of 4 or 5 times a week or even 3 times a week, then naturally, together with a couple of training sessions in the gym, a couple of weight sessions, then naturally you're kind of building muscle where you need muscle. So the big power muscles, the glutes, the hamstrings, some rehabilitation stuff on the calves, some strong calves. And then you want to be building the core, because the core means that, especially if you're doing anything distance, any mid to long distance running, that's going to keep your form efficient and strong in the latter stages of a race, even if that's a 1500 race or a 5000 meter race. Super important to have a strong core. But on top of that, which a lot of people forget, is that a strong core, if you're kind of just going in the gym and you're not doing any running, any cardiovascular, you don't have another sport, if you're just focused on the gym, a strong core is mega important for you to be strong and efficient and isolate other muscle groups. So if you're going in there into the gym and you're trying to build strong glutes, it's really important to have a strong core so that part of your body stays strong and stiff when you need it to, and you're able to engage your core but stay firm and then isolate the glutes. So that's really important. So having a strong core, front, back, core, and the core is all around the core. I'm not just talking about having a 6-pack or an 8-pack. I'm talking about having a strong core, so your obliques are working, your lower back is really strong, and that's a key for runners, yeah? So having a strong core is going to keep you, and especially the longer you go, 10K, half marathon, ultra marathon, the more important it becomes, because keeping form and therefore keeping efficient in latter stages or in the final half or final half of a race is what is going to make the difference between you winning a race and coming to top 10 in terms of kind of getting in the top 10 versus kind of just finishing, and in terms of finishing versus not being able to finish because everything just seems too tiring. If you look at the end of a marathon, if you kind of stop and watch the end of a marathon, you'll see people who have got a strong core. You'll see the kind of styles change compared to the start of a marathon, and that's just somewhere where you can go and see. If you watch your local kind of marathon or your big city marathon, you will see the difference in people's styles between the front of the race and the back of the race. So how do you get a strong core? It's really, 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 really easy. So if you're doing the rest of the work, if you're kind of running on a regular basis and you're naturally doing that, and you're ideally doing that for first thing in the morning, and that's going to shred fat and turn your body into a fat burning machine. And then you're rewarding it with breakfast afterwards, and that's a healthy breakfast. And you're starting to choose good foods, and it's smaller portions. So you've got the running, you've got the cardio work that's kind of burning the fat, and that's on a fat burning that's just after you've slept on a fasted body. And then you're putting your portion sizes into 6 portions instead of 3 big meals that we're traditionally used to. Then you're more than halfway there. So if you add into that just 2 sessions per week in the gym where you're doing, where you're working on the abs, the abdominals, the obliques, and the lower back super important. Then all you need to do is and there's progressions to this, but it's actually quite easy. You want to hang on your skeleton, yeah? So hanging on your skeleton means that you're not you're on a top bar that you can reach, that you can comfortably reach and comfortably jump down from. You're hanging on your skeleton, so you're not engaging any muscles. You're not engaging bicep, tricep, your forearms. It's not difficult for you just to hang there. And then you're lifting your legs up. So you're just lifting your legs up. And initially, if that's too much for you, and especially for women, it's often too much, that movement, yeah? So if you just lift your knees up, but focus on staying really stable in your core, and just try to get to a point where you can do 3 times 10 with rest in between 15-20 seconds, and you're good to go. Again, if you need, that needs to be 30 to 45 seconds initially, rest, and then go again. It's really important that you gradually build up to 3 times 10. Now 3 times 10 with 15 seconds rest, which you can build up to within 2-3 weeks, no problem at all. And maybe a little bit longer if you need to start with just bringing your knees up. That should take you no more than 3-4 minutes. So 3-4 minutes twice a week, 6-8 minutes. And that is literally gonna make your abs pop out, yeah? Together with the endurance, together with the great diet where it's small portions, it's healthy food options, that's gonna make your abs pop out. And abs is all to do with, any definition is to do with low body fat percentage and a little bit of muscle, a tiny little bit of muscle, and you're gonna see it pop out. And it's obviously, it's much harder for a much bigger person to see definition if they've got a bigger fat percentage portion, yeah? But it's as soon as you bring that fat percentage down, which it will naturally come off anyway, then you're gonna see definition. And together, if you're doing the 2, it's just exponential reward, because you're doing that fat burning activity, then you're getting in the gym, and then you're making the muscles pop out, and it's there to see. And it's going to make you feel quite good. I was having this conversation this weekend. It's like, if the goal is to look good, which it is for a lot of gym people, then for me, I would question whether that would be a big enough incentive for me to get in the gym. But the feeling of being in the gym and making myself more powerful for running, that's a big motivation for me. It's a different motivation if you're a lot of people are like this. If your motivation is to look better, I'd argue that it's got to be to feel better. But if a lot of people's motivation to be in the gym for most of the year is to look good on holiday, for those holiday snaps, yeah? Blows my mind, but that's what it is, yeah? If my motivation is to have a strong core, so I'm stronger in the latter stages of a race, so therefore I'm faster, therefore I'm winning more races, and I've got bigger power muscles, I'm stronger in my power muscles, so my stride length is further, that's a big motivation for me to get in the gym. And especially if I can make that gym session efficient, get in and out, just do what you need to do and then get out, because it's that's something it's 20 minutes, it's 5 times a week, 6 times a week maximum for me. That's 1 hour 40, 2 hours in the gym per week. And that's hitting every single muscle group twice. And I don't do biceps, I don't do shoulders, I don't do any upper body, no chest, no shoulders, no upper body. But it actually it's a problem for me to keep that as lean as possible, because even if you're if you're doing something like deadlifts, I can feel my chest engaging. Anyway, every time you do those 3 times 10 minutes, 3 times 10 reps of hanging leg raises, make sure that you're all you need to do is to lay on the, I call them skydivers, but literally you lay on the floor, lay on your stomach, lift your arms and legs in the air for 5 seconds and then down. So all you're doing is engaging your back. You're engaging your lower back, and you just basically building strength in the lower back. Now, some people will tell you that deadlifts is the way forward, and I would definitely do a very, very light deadlift in order to just engage my glute. And you're gonna get some core, you're gonna get some lower back strength from that. But if you can just, every time you do 3 times 10 hanging leg raises, do exactly the same, 3 times 10, 3 times 20 even, on the floor, skydivers, literally legs up in the air, arms up in the air for 5 seconds, stomach on the floor, and you'll feel your lower back engage. And it's all about isolating the body part that you're trying to do. What I add to that is literally cable crossover, or you can do it on different machines, anything that brings a cable down, just bring it down, lock out your arm for the obliques, and then focus on the obliques here. So I put my hand there, so I'm feeling my obliques, and I want to feel them engage, and I just push down. So you want your stance a little bit wider than shoulder width, and then you're just pushing down. And again, it's just 3 times 10 each side, yeah? 3 times 10 each side. Really, really simple, but those 3 exercises, and you only really need those first 2, those 2 exercises, ideally 3, everything's gonna pop out. And once you see them, and you see that start to not just have an effect on the way that you look and the way that you kind of abs look, but have an effect, a real effect on the way that you're able to finish a race strong. It's so important. And once you get that feeling, you won't want to return. And then it's not only it's injected into your habit system and weekly routine, it's more than that, it's deeper than that, because you know the difference. You felt the difference of not having it and having it. So good luck with that. And any questions at all, if I've not explained anything, ideally a lot of this stuff would be done in the gym and I'd be explaining it. So I will try and do that later, but if you have any questions, put it in the comments. Cheers.